Think tracking macros is complicated? It's really not. Here are 3 simple tips to make it easy. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by numbers, labels, and logging every bite, don't worry. Today's episode is all about breaking down macro tracking into manageable, beginner friendly steps so you can start seeing results without the stress. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Weight Loss War podcast. I am Trevor, your host, and as usual, we're going to start off with a quote. Today's is by Anais Nin, excuse me, who said, "Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage." All right, so today I wanted to talk about counting macros and how to start, how to be successful doing it, because I've talked about macros a lot and why I like them, but today I wanted to get specifically into what that looks like, tips on how to be efficient with it and not get overwhelmed, and moving forward with this new kind of lifestyle, this new way of tracking what we're eating. And let's be honest, starting anything new can feel overwhelming, especially when it comes to numbers and food. But the first thing I recommend with macro tracking is it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Instead of trying to be perfect with everything, the first thing I want you to do is start with this. Focus on protein first. Hitting your protein macro is the hardest thing on the list, and it is by far the most important thing for fat loss and muscle retention. So start with that. Don't focus on trying to hit all of them. Focus on protein first. Don't worry about your carbs and fats being exact. We just need to kind of keep them in a balanced range. And then I want you to use tracking. Tracking macros is a tool, not a test. So we're trying to gather data. We're trying to make sure we know where we're going, have the information we need to determine whether we are doing everything right. It's not a grade. If you don't get 100%, then that's fine. We're gathering data. It's a tool. Macros are tools to help us along our journey to create a healthier lifestyle. And if this is part of your goal, then losing weight and maintaining your weight loss and all of these things. So don't get overwhelmed. Start for, the first week or two, just tracking protein. And then this one habit is going to build up our confidence over time, and we're going to build up our confidence, our ability to track everything. It's going to take a little bit of time, but everything does. Anything worth doing will. But here are a few quick hacks that are going to make logging your food easier and more accurate. The first thing is think about meals in, the way that we do. You can copy meals, you can repeat meals. If we have an app, most apps will let you copy a meal from a previous day. You can go in and select the exact same thing that you did a couple of days ago. The next tip is take a picture of your meal before you eat. That way, you can go back and log it afterward, especially if you're in a rush. And then what we recommend is that you at the beginning you weigh your food, you learn your portions, you learn your protein, but you don't need to do it every single time. Weigh once and then learn the proportions so you can eyeball them confidently. You don't need to be perfect. We are just using this as a tool to make sure that we are figuring out what we're doing. And then the last thing that I recommend is to pre-log your meals in the morning if this is something that you are doing. so that you know what's coming. This will help you save time. This will help you stay on track. This will help you not overthink everything. Helps us build momentum while we are trying to learn something new. Let's jump on to some mistakes that people make. These are the three biggest mistakes that new macro trackers make. And this is, stuff that we need to do to avoid them. First thing is guessing portions. It is so important at the beginning of this process for you to use a food scale so that you can calibrate your eyes to the portions. If you are guessing, you're going to be wrong. But if you start by weighing your food, you can get into the habit. You can slowly, like I said, calibrate your eyes so that you know how much in general you're eating. The next mistake people make is not scanning their barcode. Most apps will let you scan your packaged foods for instant accuracy. You can scan the barcode, it will load all of the information in, taking your guesswork out of it. It will take all of the time that you are spending or would be spending trying to track and enter everything. It takes all of that out. You do it, scan it, it's in, you're good to go. These things help you get less frustrated with the process. It helps you maintain your momentum and keep going. And then the third mistake is trying to be perfect. You aren't going to hit your numbers every day. And that's okay. We've talked about this on this podcast before. We are trying to make progress. We're not trying to be perfect. So you're learning a skill. Tracking your macros is a skill. It's not passing a test. It's something that gets easier every time we do it. Every week, every day that you do it, it gets easier and easier. If you keep practicing, eventually it will become so common that you are going to have no trouble with it at all. The main thing is showing up. Showing up, logging your macros, and learning. If you are doing those things, then you are going to be fine. You are going to make progress. And to go back to the very beginning, a macro plan is a tool. This is about building up your awareness. If you start simple and use the tools that work for you and focus on small wins, you are going to get better. The more you practice, the more intuitive, it is going to become until it will be natural. And that's what we're trying to do. I feel like I say this way too much, but I recommend macros to everyone because it is a sustainable option. It gives you the flexibility you need to live your life while making sure you are getting the nutrients you need, building a healthy quality of life. And it's just something that I believe in, and that's why I recommend it to everyone. But once you start and use this as a tool, then you are going to find how freeing it is rather than a restrictive crash diet or anything else like that. That's why I recommend it so much, and that's why I keep talking about it once every week or so. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I appreciate all of you who are listening. If you have any questions, please let me know. Leave a comment or send me an email. Like, subscribe, it really does help, and I will be back next week.